There is a spiritual hunger spreading across America. More people are going to church and reading the Bible, some of them for the very first time. CBN Films has produced a new documentary answering questions many people ask about the Bible. Oracles of God, the New Testament, shows how it was forged in fire, copied by hand, carried across empires, and preserved at the risk of life itself. For 3 days, November 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, this film will be in theaters nationwide. Tickets are available at cbn.com tickets. Dr. Craig Evans is the author of Jesus and the Manuscripts, and he's one of the experts interviewed in the film. He's now with us to talk more about this. Dr. Evans, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Tell us, why did you take part in this project? Why is the information in this film so important?
Yeah, it's very important because people around the world, people in the United States, and even in the church don't know much about the Bible. They don't know where it came from. And when they hear claims in the popular media to the effect it's all myth, or nobody really knows what Jesus said or did, or nobody really knows if the biblical writings are accurate and have preserved what the originals said. When you hear that, hey, we need to do something. We need to educate the public.
What are the main questions that people tend to ask, specifically about the reliability of the New Testament?
Well, one of the questions is, were the Gospels based on eyewitness testimony? Were the Gospels written 100 years after the time of Jesus, and therefore they're probably inaccurate and full of myths? Were copies made that were accurate? Did people just make changes in the text so that when we read Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, we're not really reading what was originally written? It's stuff like that floating around in the public. And of course, I am a New Testament scholar. I'm an expert in this field. And I just want to pull my hair out when I hear that kind of ignorance. And so the documentary that you have produced, and I'm so glad I was part of it, sets the record straight. And that's why I think it's very important.
And to that very point, the whole idea of coming up with strong evidence that the New Testament was recorded reliably and then passed down through history, 2,000 plus years. How strong is that evidence?
Well, the evidence is overwhelming. The Gospels themselves talk about real people, real events. They're accurate. Archaeology is able to confirm many things in the Gospels and show that the Gospels are reflecting the realities of the time of Jesus. And then, of course, we have manuscript evidence that just doesn't end. Literally thousands of documents, copies and copies. And what they show is the text was stable. The text that we now have, on which our English Bibles are based, is the text that the apostles and other New Testament writers originally wrote. So there really is no basis for skepticism.
And almost every day, Dr. Evans, the Israelis are finding new archaeological digs and findings and so forth. I'm curious, with the manuscripts, with these archaeological discoveries and all of the other material that goes into who this person was, Jesus Christ, does it help people understand who he was and more importantly, about his teachings?
Oh, yes, they do. And that's the big payoff from my point of view. I know that the text is stable and accurate. I want to know, what does it mean? And so many of these archaeological discoveries and manuscript discoveries help us understand better what Jesus taught and how his contemporaries would have understood him, how they reacted to the things that he did. And that's the big payoff. And by the way, if the Gospels were fiction, unreliable, full of mistakes, full of myth, then archaeology wouldn't help us at all, because archaeology deals with reality, the things that really did happen, the people that did live, the places that really did exist in antiquity. And so it's this correlation between the Gospels and the evidence that not only shows the Gospels are accurate, but actually helps us understand what they mean.
Is this only for new believers, or can mature people who have walked with Christ a long time, can they benefit from watching this movie?
Oh, absolutely. If you're a brand new believer, or if you're an inquirer, a seeker sitting on the fence, or you've been a Christian for a half century, this documentary will help you understand better the New Testament, especially the Gospels, but also how the letters in the New Testament relate to the Gospels. And this is a documentary that everybody ought to see. And that includes pastors, too, by the way, who have seminary education. They will benefit from it, too.
Mm-hmm. All right, terrific. Thank you so much. I appreciate your efforts and your role in this film. Dr. Evans, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome, George.
The Oracles of God, the New Testament, will be in theaters November 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. For tickets, just go to cbn.com. Tickets. We'll be back right after this.